In October 2017, 18-year-old Clément Ouimet was struck by a car in Quebec. He was descending on Mount Royal when the tourist in front of him pulled an illegal U-turn without shoulder checking. Clément died because of careless driving. Our cities are growing. More people means more traffic, more roads, more transit, more accidents. Our cities are growing too fast, and we're expanding and preparing them for cars, not people. There are more cyclists than ever before on the roads. The city's way of adapting to this is by making bike lanes, but they're still not safe. If we want our roads to function properly in the future, we must change this. So now I leave you with this question. Who really owns the roads? Hub Cycling is helping to make Vancouver safer for cyclists.
What is their vision and mission?
Yeah, so Hub Cycling is a registered charity, a nonprofit society. Our mission is to get more people cycling more often, and our vision is that in the year 2030, cycling is safe for all ages and abilities, that there's cycling education in all schools across the region, and that governments invest regularly in cycling infrastructure.
If we fill in the gaps in the bike lane network, then cars and cyclists could share the roads.
Yeah, perfect. So Ungap the Map is basically, it's a campaign that we launched to try and fill in those gaps across Metro Vancouver.
There are times when you hear about cars and cyclists with interesting attitudes towards each other. So I asked what people thought.
Cyclists and vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's, it has changed a lot, I think, in the last decade. I think it's important to note, too, that a lot of people who bike also drive.
The super nice people, and there are a lot of really nice people in Vancouver who are too nice. They'll stop everywhere and let a cyclist go. And then there are people who don't like anybody else but their car on the road, and vice versa.
I mean, sometimes I think, it exists still, and I think sometimes it's to do with space. And, oftentimes, you have a big, heavy vehicle sharing a space with someone biking. When I'm driving, sometimes, it can be annoying having to go around someone who's biking. And then when you're biking, it's also uncomfortable.
What do you think the main causes of friction are between the two parties?
I think it's a matter of etiquette. So when cyclists take up most of the lane and they don't move over when there's a car behind them, that can cause a lot of friction because then the driver gets agitated, slowed down, and it's unsafe. And same as for the cyclist, when a car pulls over too close to the curb, it's like, well, did you not think about that you're sharing the road with a different form of transportation?
If you are a driver and you love to drive, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense to support people who want to bike because it will mean less traffic for you.
So I think when you are going to learn to drive, I think it should be part of your driver's training to learn to understand cyclists' point of view, and when cyclists are starting to ride, especially with a riding club, like I ride with Steed Cycles, that some of that should be part of. And it is part of our education that these are the codes of conduct, that you have to signal well.
Cars do. I don't know if that's a good thing, but cars on the roads.
The roads belong to all of us. They belong to people. I think, they're public space, so they're owned publicly, and so we, as a democracy, get to decide how we want to use them.
In your opinion, who owns the roads?
Cars and buses, all other vehicles like that.
In your opinion, who owns the roads?
We all do. So we all own the road, and we just have to learn to be respectful to each other and to embrace that it's not just a car culture.
In your opinion, who owns the roads?
My opinion, I think cars own the roads.
Vancouver is changing. We have lots of bike lanes and lots more on the way. Hub Cycling has helped us have some new infrastructure. Infrastructure like the Arbutus Greenway and the Broad Street Bridge. If people continue to bike, Vancouver will receive the bike infrastructure it needs. Maybe one day we will even be like Amsterdam or Copenhagen, where it is easier to bike than to drive because of how well developed the bike lane network is.
Do you enjoy cycling?
I like cycling because I can go fast, it's fun, and it's good exercise.
Why do you like biking?
I don't.
Okay, if you don't like biking, why don't you like it?
Because it takes a lot of effort, and I'm a guy that likes to just like sit in the car and drink Slurpees.
Solana, do you think the greater Vancouver area needs more bike lanes?
Yes, because there's not enough and Hashtag save the earth.